unlocking the unseen, communicating with the invisible world. We are Shaltazar, the Gavish Baninu, the energy of 33, the Master Teacher, and the energy of 44, the Master Healer. We have come forth at this time to bring you divine wisdom. There has never been a time in human history when the ability to connect and communicate with the unseen world has been more accessible. We are not saying it won't take effort and practice, but more importantly, it will require a new understanding of how to communicate with something you cannot see or fully comprehend. But let us assure you that we are here to offer guidance and assistance in how you can maneuver the energy of the great potential for change, where no change is not an option. Why would you not consider tapping into the universal intelligence? The inhabitants of your planet seem quite excited about utilizing artificial intelligence, despite the limitations of it being derived from human knowledge. We might assume you would be even more excited to have access to everything that ever was, everything that is, and everything that will ever be. We are here to tell you that we can assist you in navigating the rough waters that you are living through at this time. So how can we communicate with the unseen world? We hear you ask. And we would say to you, therein lies the problem. Trying to understand how to communicate with us from a linear, logical, left brain perspective will not make it possible. To take advantage of this new, faster, more enhanced and intense energy on your planet, you must learn to understand in a different way. The invisible world communicates to you in what may appear as a treasure hunt. We cannot give you the step-by-step procedure. We will not give you the 10 steps to tap in to your guidance. The linearity, logic, and intellect you were taught will actually hinder you from communicating effectively with us. Your education system taught you that you learn with your mind, with your brain, through reason and logic, but the communication we are sending you is different. However, it is important to be aware that in order to receive your messages from the universe, you must be in vibrational alignment to receive them. You may ask, how do you get into this alignment? By letting go of your attachments to the physical world, by quieting your mind and opening your heart. Be still, be more still, and be still again. You cannot be in the appropriate vibrations when your mind is full and you are scrolling through your smart devices. Let go of the interference that comes from a busy mind. Allow yourself to connect more deeply to your sensory consciousness. Some ways to prepare for our transmissions are getting out in nature, listening to sound healing music, meditating, moving to present moment awareness, setting intentions, being in a sacred space, doing breath work, visualizing, or doing body movement, to name but a few. It is from a place of calm, peace, and openness that you will be ready to receive our wisdom. The preparation required for communicating with us will become less necessary as you become more aligned with us. But in the beginning, it is important to focus on readying yourself for the transmissions. Our communication comes in a sensory way, so it is important that you allow yourself to tap in to your sensory consciousness and be patient. We are continuously sending you messages, but we do not speak in language, and we definitely do not speak in logical sentences. Although many believe there are 4 main pathways of connection, let us assure you there are infinitely many ways you can connect to the invisible world in a sensory way. Your guidance will come in ways that may not even seem like you are communicating with us. It is important to reflect and contemplate what you believe the invisible world is. Your preconceived notions of the unseen world may be limiting your ability to connect with us. You live in a 4-dimensional world, whereas the higher realms are multidimensional. Connecting with something you will never fully comprehend or understand can be tricky. Therefore, faith and trust are essential. Needless to say, a strong connection is still possible when you are open to learning new ways of connecting. You may receive your messages in a visionary, auditory, feeling, or even knowing way. Anything sensory may be a communication from us. It can be so subtle and unassuming that you will probably not recognize it as guidance in the beginning. This communication may come forth as a color, a number, the noticing of an animal, words spoken by another person, coincidences, lyrics in a song, music, or many other unrecognizable forms of communication. Since you have received your messages in a sensory fashion, it is up to you to translate them into language, into something you can more fully understand. Practice getting a sense of what comes to you in a non-linear, non-logical way and framing it into something that is more understandable to you. Language is one way that you can translate or transcribe what comes to you. However, realize that going from no language to language is something that takes practice. Do not assume the words you may choose to use in your translation are definitive. The language and energy of your translation will always be affected by your life experiences and your filters. That will always be the case, so continue to meditate, reflect, and ruminate on various possible translations of what has come your way. Moving from guidance received in a sensory way to language that makes the message more understandable is an art, not a science. The next phase in tapping into the invisible world is the interpretation of our guidance. To more deeply understand the messages we are sending you, you must learn to delineate them in a new way. You have been taught to interpret in a very definitive way. you often think you require the details, specifics, and the minutiae to fully understand. You are not comfortable with vagueness, obscurity, and ambiguity. Guidance is always coming to you through your experiences, but often you don't realize this. We encourage you to look at the messages, the signs, the intuitions, the happenings, and the nudges we are sending you in a different light with new eyes. They are vital and important to your well-being, but because they lack exactness, fact, and precision, it is important that you learn the art of interpreting those messages. When you look at an abstract painting, there is nothing definitive about it. It symbolizes something unfamiliar to you in a logical way. It represents something, but it is you who interprets that abstraction. There are shapes, there are colors, and there are many different things going on in that painting. But you, the individual, deciphers what that piece of art is telling you. We would suggest that communication from our side of the veil operates in a similar fashion. Let go of your definitiveness. Let go of your logic. Let go of trying to find the exact answer for everything. Instead, release, let go, and surrender. Allow yourself to interpret what is coming your way in a new and innovative way. Look for the subtleties. Look for what does not seem logical, and look for the nuances. For it is in those less logical interpretations you will get the wisdom you require to make substantial change in your life. Once you have become more comfortable with receiving our guidance, transcribing it, and interpreting the messages, there is an important step that is necessary to make your life better and more enjoyable. Guidance without action will not get you what you desire. We are formless, and thus we cannot take action for you in the world of form. It is up to you to decide how you will apply the intelligence we bring you. You must act on your intuition, for it is you who must execute. It is you who must bring forth your most cherished desires. We can show you the way, but you must take the steps to make it all happen. It is important that the energy of your actions comes from confidence, trust, certainty, and assuredness. Always take spirit-inspired actions. We realize it may not be easy to implement, integrate, embody, and act upon these messages we are sending you because they are often vague and difficult to understand. But it must be this way, for you live on the planet of free choice. This final phase of putting your guidance into play is a very necessary one. Without implementation, the ideas, nudges, and suggestions we are sending will not transform your life. It is experience that turns knowledge into wisdom. Do not be afraid to take action, for you cannot fail. Remember, our love for you is everlasting and unconditional. We are always here to guide you forward, no matter what comes your way. Now go forth, dear ones, and tap into the guidance that can allow you to live a better and more fulfilling life.